All right, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about something that's way more than just a topic you study. It's a real, practical toolkit you're going to use for your entire career: business communication. Think of this as your guide to making sure your ideas actually land with impact, no matter where you are in the world. So, let's start building that toolkit.
Let me kick this off with a big question for you. When you think about everything you need to succeed out there in this global economy, what do you think is the single most critical skill? Is it knowing the tech? Is it understanding the finances? Well, the answer might actually surprise you. It's the very thing we're unpacking today. And this right here gets to the heart of why it's so important. In the world we live in now, communication is never just a local thing. Every single email you send, every presentation, every quick chat, it's a cross-cultural event. The stakes are really, really high, and getting it right takes a very specific set of skills. To get good at this, we first need a map. We have to understand the basic process of how a message even travels from your brain to someone else's. And that's what we'll call the communication blueprint.
Think of it like you're mailing a package. You're the sender, and you have an idea you need to encode, put it into words or images or even just a tone of voice. That's the message. Then you pick a channel to send it through, like email. The receiver gets that package and has to decode it, trying to figure out your original idea from all those cues. And their response? That feedback tells you if the package arrives safely. Sounds simple, right? Well, not so fast. In reality, this journey can go off the rails at every single step. As the sender, maybe you use some jargon that your team has never heard before, or the message itself is just confusing. Maybe you try to text a super complex report, definitely the wrong channel. And the receiver? They can easily misread the tone of an email. And then you've got noise. That could be anything from a bad Wi-Fi signal to a huge cultural misunderstanding that just messes the whole thing up.
So, how do we stop these breakdowns from happening? Well, we use a set of universal tools. I'm talking about the 7 C's of effective communication. Just think of these as the fundamental rules that are going to keep your messages clear and on track.
And here they are: clarity, conciseness, completeness, correctness, concreteness, consideration, and courtesy. You can almost split these into 2 groups. The first few are all about the integrity of your message, making sure it's solid. And the last few, they're about connecting with your audience, making sure it lands the right way. Let's look at 3 of the most powerful ones in action. First up, conciseness. Just look at the difference here. The first sentence is just full of corporate fluff, right? It has come to my attention. The second one? Bam, straight to the point. Being concise shows you respect the other person's time, and frankly, it makes you sound way more confident and clear. The bottom line is, cut the clutter. Next, concreteness. We need to improve sales soon. I mean, what does that even mean? It's a wish, it's not a plan. But we need to increase Q3 sales by 10%. Now that's a specific, measurable goal. Using concrete language with facts and figures gets rid of all the guesswork and makes sure everyone is working towards the exact same thing. Now, this is a perfect example of consideration. It's all about shifting the focus from I to you. Notice how the first one is just a demand, I need you. The second one is a polite request that considers their time. This might seem like a small change, but it makes a massive difference in building good working relationships. It's all about having that you attitude. Okay, so we have our core tools down. Now let's level up to the advanced gear we need for working in a global environment. This is where it gets really, really fascinating, because you start to realize that cultural intelligence isn't about memorizing a bunch of rules. It's about being adaptable. Culture adds this whole new, complex layer to our communication map. Okay, one of the most important concepts to get is this idea of low context versus high context cultures. So in a low context culture, say in the US or Germany, what you say is what you mean. The words themselves carry all the information. But in a high context culture, like in Japan or China, a lot of the meaning is found in the relationship, the situation, the tone of voice, and in what is not said. Understanding this one difference is absolutely key to avoiding major missteps. And here is a super practical tool for your kid. Just avoid idioms and slang. An expression like hit the ground running makes perfect sense if you're a native English speaker, but it could be totally confusing to someone else. When you're working internationally, the clearest language is always the best language. Be direct, be literal.
And finally, let's talk about time, because believe it or not everybody sees the clock in the same way. In monochronic cultures, time is like a straight line. Schedules are king, you do one thing at a time. But in polychronic cultures, time is much more flexible. Multiple things can happen at once, and building a good relationship might be way more important than starting a meeting right on the dot. Neither one is right or wrong, but knowing which time zone your colleague is operating in can save you a world of frustration. So, let's bring it all together. We've gone from the basic map of communication to the core tools of the 7 Cs, and now to the advanced skills for navigating different cultures. It's time to put that whole toolkit to work. Because, at the end of the day, this is the whole point. Effective communication isn't just about throwing information out there. It's about making sure that your ideas, your plans, your vision, that they're received exactly the way you intended. It's making sure your message survives the journey, crosses any border, and truly connects with someone. So the next time you're about to write an email or walk into a meeting, just remember this toolkit. Every single message is an opportunity. It could be the one that defines a project, that closes a deal, or builds a relationship that lasts for years. The only question left is, are you ready?